This podcast is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Primary Arms, serving freedom since 2008. Find out more at frn.deals/PA. Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Hofer.
Hey, buddy. How we doing?
Oh, we're doing wonderful tonight. I know that we're both doing especially wonderful because we've been excited about this show coming up for a little while because we have two very special guests. We have Zach and David, who I'm told is called Whiskey from Matador Arms.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for being here, guys. It is always great to talk to people who make some of the awesome products we have. I know our listeners have heard me go on about my Montgo 9 that I have. And
I'm excited. Dooley's been fangirling out about this for weeks. So
yes, well, it's like when we were talking with Alex at SHOT Show, he kept there's another Nick on another podcast that will continuously be like, well, I know I'm their favorite Nick.
Alex is pulled in every direction.
Yes, he is. He is the poor guy.
Yeah, he's one of the best members of the team for sure.
Yep. So before we get too much into the main topic, I know that we're going to talk a lot about your guys' company and products and everything like that. But before we do that, did you guys get to do anything cool this week?
This week?
Yeah, like, or have you just been like straight working, or did you actually get to go out and have any fun with guns?
Well, for me, it's been travel, short, quick week out to Vegas. We've been shutting down the facility out there that we took over when we purchased the company 9 months ago. So that's been bittersweet. And then right here to our Texas hub, where Davey's at now, or Whiskey's at now. And then it's just been prepping for this. We too have been excited since SHOT Show, and then so not so much myself. I am dying to get to the range though, for sure.
David, how about you?
I've gotten to run this guy. This is kind of our test prototype one here, so we've been running the hell out of this one and a couple others, just trying to get them to break, which is fun at first, and then after a while you're like, all right, my fingers hurt.
I've said that before. Like, everyone loves shooting full auto, and it's like the first time you hear about it, it's like, oh man, yes, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna shoot full auto, and then like you end up on a range with like 40,000 rounds of belted 308 to shoot, and you're literally just going like anyone at all. Like, just
it's the old saying, like feeding the bush monster. You got to use the restroom. Just gotta get out of here. Got a beer to drink. Yeah, no. Can't cut corners.
Hey,
no, that's never
real quick,
happened.
my internet is dying here. I'm gonna pop back.
Okay.
Hey, don't
Even me already.
Oh, he'll be back. I have full faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before he comes back, we might as well just go ahead and dive into this here. Oh, thank you.
That'll be $10.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
We're good.
you sound great.
Hi.
That's my wife.
Hello, man. Pleasure.
AKA bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also, it's strong, so don't.
So
You don't have any more ice.
I'm sorry, I was getting yelled at behind me, so I
No
got
worries.
distracted.
Room service.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So you guys obviously, for people who don't know about Matador Arms, because Matador Arms is a small, a fairly small and new company.
Yes.
I will be honest, the first time I heard about Matador Arms was several years ago, and I don't think any of you guys maybe worked there then.
No, sir.
They made parts for SKSs.
Yep. Oh yeah, the saber tooth. Yeah.
Yeah. And chassis.
Yeah.
Chassis and rails.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a popular product.
Actually, the first thing that I saw, the first thing that like kind of popped the company onto my radar was an AR part, but you couldn't use it on an AR. And it was a folding stock adapter for anything with a buffer tube.
Yeah, Davey, I think you might have one on. You don't have one on yours, I don't believe, right? Yeah, we probably should have had product lined
I
up.
don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have them. It's great for our setup, but
Yeah.
not if you're trying to run a normal AR. It doesn't work.
Right.
Yep.
And
No,
it gets.
I
Or
do
go ahead.
remember
Sorry
seeing
about that.
those.
Yeah, it gets everybody with the price point too, and then you go, man. And then even when we purchased the company, here I am. I'm like, man, where has this been the entire time? I've been trying to build something, a folder on a budget, and then they're like, oh no, you can't use it with buffer. And then here I am learning all this new information. I was like, well, still cool though, still awesome.
Yeah.
For what it is.
So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the company, and then we'll get into like some of your product lines and some exciting new things that are coming out really soon.
Davey, you want to take it, or you want me?
Yeah.
I got it.
I'll take it. Just if my
All right.
internet gets weird and you could see me making a blank face, it's because it's just going in and out, and I apologize. So Zach, fill in for me when that happens.
All right.
So Alex and I started. Let's see. Yeah, I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah. I was saying
Alex
that's
and
pretty
I
cool.
started working for Matador Arms for Annika Nolan, kind of as consultants. We come from P80. He was the marketing guy, and I did sales for the company. So we kind of just took our skill set and our contact list and started working for Matador Arms. And Annika Nolan, they wanted to sell the company. And we had an OEM opportunity pop up that was a pretty big deal. And they were, even with that opportunity on the table, they still wanted to sell, and they wanted to sell at the same price that they were originally offering us. And so we got together with some old vendors from P80 that lent us some money, some family members that lent us some money, my aunt, pulled it together, and here we are.
Threw our families into financial ruin.
Yes.
No, it's
really
been nail
stressed the dollar.
biting. It's been
Hey,
fun.
And then sorry, Zach is my brother-in-law.
I was about to say,
and our other business partner is
tied
Justin, who is overseas right now. So,
yeah.
They bring a whole new tactical and awesome element to the team.
Yeah, right on. And really, have you even started a business if you haven't started trying to put your friends and family into like major financial problems?
Well, the first thing I said when we took on this partnership together, I had done some other small business with friends before. And I said, look, the number one rule I have is that this ever starts to interfere with, the love between each other, like everything goes on pause, because I'm not going to jeopardize that for this. As much as I love the reception from the public and everybody in the product and the entire process, just never want to jeopardize family, because it gets nail biting. I'm sure everybody that's done it's probably saying the same thing.
The saying goes, it's best part about working with family is to work with family, and the worst part about working with family is to work with family.
Yeah. And so already being
True.
Davey's brother-in-law, married to his oldest sister, I feel like we've known each other. I've been married to her for 9 years now, and I feel like I've known him for 20. And it's just something that we just definitely don't want to jeopardize at all. But it is wonderful. I mean, we're living the American dream, I feel like. I mean, we get to go to work every day with each other. So that's pretty sweet.
It really is. And it's, the cliche of, do what you love and you never really work a day in your life.
Right.
But if you're actually truly excited about something, and just like the little bit we were talking before it, before we came on air, went live, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
You guys are genuinely excited about these products and like where you're taking the company. And that's amazing to see, because that enthusiasm just transfers over into like what you guys have done.
Thank you.
And so
and I don't want to forget about the guy that asked about our logo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Old logo.
Sorry, Julian. We'll be right back. We're gonna get this guy. Yeah.
There we go. I'll pull it back up again. So for our audio,
that was the original logo that came from Anakin 1.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. It was more or less just we needed a new logo.
Yeah, the rebrand was part of it. It's a cool logo, the original. Obviously doing kind of, oopsie, look at this. I'm trying to read the camera backwards, but yeah, the four sides of the Pentagon are actually each wall, which each wall represents a member or partner. And then obviously just kind of getting that new age style Matador bullhead look. And so that's kind of where we came up with the idea. And we were actually, before we went down this endeavor, we actually had a small group called Division 5. And again, it was because of the 5 partners or owners. And so we carried that Pentagon over to the background of this. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that is a very cool thing. And so as we get going here, we've talked a little bit about what it was, and then you guys came into the company. And the first product that you guys took out that really kind of gained a lot of steam is this one I am trying to hold up here so everyone can see it. It is the Montgo 9, the Matador Arms Montgo 9, which was a 9mm upper.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different from a standard AR-9 upper, as it's a AR-9 upper that runs, or shouldn't say different. It's bufferless is the main big thing for it. It's still a blowback operated, and but you don't have to have that buffer and buffer tube hanging out the backside of the rifle to fire it, or pistol.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's pretty awesome in that aspect too. I'm still learning a lot about the PCC realm myself, and just the fact that how obviously then when you add our Sidewinder to it or any kind of folder, you can still shoot it, closed or open, or without any kind of backer to it, depending on what you're attempting to do. But it was a really neat product from day one for sure. And then I know, like you said before we got live, the simplicity in its bolt structure too is what we believe is helping with that suppressed shooting. And that's a fun gig because, suppressors are getting a lot easier to acquire these days, or at least a shorter time frame. They're starting to, big names are starting to create their own, so that they're just getting more competitive in price, which is awesome. And I think that's just cool that the PC realm, or PCC realm, is going to be like the next big hit. As you can see, there's a lot coming out over the last year alone.
There really is. And one of my favorite things about like the PCC thing is, well, granted, the last couple of years, this hasn't really been as true, but you can run something that has all of the same controls as your standard carbine.
Yep.
But you're training cheaper because 115 grain ball 9mm is always cheaper than 5.56.
Yep. And one of my favorite things about it too is just like you said, it's that smaller caliber round, a little bit cheaper on the end. But also one of my favorite things about it too, and one of the things that we've been kind of fighting on what our first lower is going to be, is the cross compatibility. So if I'm running a Glock 19 as my sidearm, I can run the same magazines for my primary as my secondary. And to me, that's a huge factor, I guess, in kit loadout and how I'm going to do things. And you look at local law enforcement or smaller agencies that are running, two different style primaries and sidearms. They get to run both if they went with something like this, or another PCC that ran Glock or Colt Max or whatnot, or at least Glock. Sorry, but that
Yep,
cross
and
compatibility.
it really is, and I know that there are people who, like, we recently did a show about alternative AR operating systems, and we talked about things like, radial delay and, roller delayed blowback and
Yeah.
things of that nature, and piston drive. So one of the things that I've really liked about your system is it is a direct blowback gun, and that means that it is incredibly reliable.
Yeah.
And when I say incredibly reliable, for anyone who has not shot a lot suppressed, and as all of our longtime listeners will know, when I got back from my most recent deployment, I had this sitting here and was super excited. My wife will tell you I waited about 5 hours before I started putting guns together. And
He built 7 in the first week.
Priorities.
it was one of those like, hey babe, I'm home. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
We went
Yeah,
out.
that's great.
We went out to supper, and I walked into my office and was like,
Boom.
over here, this is going on the bench, and
all that deployment money.
Yep, and
it's gone.
And it's gone.
Yep, and then we started working on, so I started working on, putting everything together, and so that was, one of the very first ones I built because I was excited about it, and I don't think I've ever shot it without a can on it. And I put at least 1,500 rounds through it before we decided to try and clean it. And 1,500 rounds of suppressed blowback will dirty a gun quick.
Yeah, that's definitely a trash can for sure after that. And especially if I don't know if, like, again, the terminology of like oiling suppressors and all that. I mean, I've seen some that you turn it upside down, it looks like motor oil just running out of the end of it. I mean, you name it. But yeah, the simplicity of it. And speaking of 1,500 rounds, Davey, he can contest to this. At one of the first shows we took one to, purposefully not lubing it, not cleaning it, and allowing, fans to shoot it. And I think they made it to around the same number before they had a slight malfunction, but then obviously a spritz here,
Yep.
And then a check.
We had 2 Makos and we wanted just to see how it would do dry and lube. So we ran them both to 2,000 rounds without any real issues. And then it started to fail. Turns out it was our firing pin issue. Our firing pins gave out. So one of those things you live and learn. AR-9 firing pins take a beating. So we've upped the ones in these ones and in current Montgos to be titanium.
Yeah. I do recall, like, there was when I ordered mine, because I ordered it and then there was a backlog for a while, and it was, hey, we're fixing the firing pin. Like,
We're trying.
I got an email about it, and I was like, that's cool, man. I won't be home for 4 months.
But it better be there. Even though I'm not there, it better be there. No, it's that's part of it. I mean, I probably drive Alex, the key media man, our president of media and marketing, crazy, because like I was telling you beforehand, part of it is just we're such a small operation. The reception has been so great. Kind of rebranding, restoking the fire of the Montco 9 and then now into the Mat 9 and how well SHOT Show went. It's hard, it's like there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many of us. We're trying to keep so many, like, juggling so many balls in the air at once. But we're definitely, customer service is we're working on it. We're not the best at it yet, but we're working on it.
Could you guys give a brief description of the differences between the two, just for our listeners out there that aren't watching at home?
Yeah, absolutely. Davey, you catch me if I fall, man, here on this.
Yeah, here. Let me grab. Yeah.
Davey's in the warehouse, so he's got all the parts. He's gonna be squirreling around in there.
Right. One of the big parts here difference is the back end. It doesn't sit flat the way the over the buffer tube. And this allows you to take down, just like an AK, you press it in, this drops down, and you can pull the whole system out.
Yeah. So unlike the Mako
again, sorry,
9,
my
you have
internet
that
is so bad if I
screw.
cut you guys off here.
Yeah. The backplate system, instead of taking that one screw out and removing the backplate system, and it's about 6 parts, it's all condensed into about 4, and it's got that cam locking system that's it's snapped into place, held in there by 2 like grooves, and then it's just trapped.
Okay.
Go ahead, Davey.
Oh, I think you froze.
He might have locked up.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, and then until you get this
screenshot
internet
and
back
get ready
up.
for the meme.
Yeah. I swear they're like taking screenshots right now. These guys were just falling apart by the second. Yeah, there he goes. But some of the other changes that we've got is like on the original Mako 9. The M-LOK system was actually, I think it was 2-spec. There was just kind of like a coating tolerance that we were having. That was fixed. Obviously, you can see here we're running a much larger extrusion. The barrel system's just shy of about 7.5 inches before thread. And then the extrusion obviously marries right up to that end piece or the thread start. And then that goes all the way around the system too. So you've got 3 full links of M-LOK, and then obviously how clean it goes back before it marries that lower, there's space. So you can put accessories all the way around this thing now with comfort. That was one of the little things. I know that a lot of people enjoy that small backpack Mako 9, but obviously 7.5 inches isn't the end all be all of length. And then obviously with a suppressor on board, you're not holding a massive broomstick. You still have a really nice backpack gun. And then obviously the simplicity. Another thing that really set the 2 apart was the barrel system. So again, thanks a million to our engineer, Chris Morris, who's come on board with us. This man is, I don't know how his knees still hold up carrying the weight of this team for real. From the time of purchase to where we're at now, he has come up with a really neat a system for the barrel setup. It's 2 small kind of like guides or lockers. You can see one of them here. And then there's another one that's hidden underneath this portion, but it's tapered for the barrel, so it can only go in one way. And then with a barrel nut that's internal, when you screw that in, it just pulls the barrel nice and tight and into place. It's really neat. It went from, I don't know how many parts for the Mako 9, I think 12, down to about 4. Yeah, 4, maybe 5. So just really, really neat. The simplicity of the weapon system has gotten even greater. But I'll let Davey, now that he's back, I'll take a breath.
I could actually hear you guys not lagging to the so that's really sorry.
Just making fun of you.
Yeah.
This guy.
I'm on my phone now. It seems to be working a lot.
Oh,
there you go. And since you're looking at this, we will pull up here to the. Wait, I'm gonna pull you into the main view so that everyone can look at you.
There we go.
I am the prettiest, so
100%. I mean, I have a face for radio and a voice for sign language. So, but while you're working on taking that down,
you're talking about it. Sorry, it's so. That's it. That's it. That's it.
3 simple steps.
Yeah, and it's just 3 parts.
Yeah, internally, this is as simple as it comes. If I could get that in there, that seems to be my problem when I'm a little drunk. But let's see here. There it is.
Davey, show him the locker on the back there, if you don't mind, good sir. So it's that little tiny U-shaped piece with that circle at the bottom.
Yep.
And that'll move up and down to lock it into place. And there's another groove on the back end of the extrusion that'll marry up to, and it locks. That's a really unique system, that Chris had designed. And again, it takes the simplicity to a whole nother level.
So I know that we were just talking about the barrel nut, and
yeah,
the guy who made a giant splash at SHOT Show with his Desert Warrior rifle from New Frontier Arms.
Yeah. Yes.
He's asking, do you need any proprietary tools to take this apart?
So you do. We do offer that. It will be up as soon as the Mat 9 start rolling out. We will offer kind of like a tool kit. Obviously, there's a lot of how's the best way to put it? Kind of safety considerations, because now you're getting into dismantling the weapon, obviously to a certain point, and then legality's sake. But yes, the tool we have, the same company that helps us with a few of our other parts. We do have a tool that you'll be able to get.
Disclaimer: you will never need to take this part off. It would be to completely remove the barrel for regular maintenance and anything like that you would normally do.
I think he was asking for Cerakoting purposes.
Oh, for Cerakoting, yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
Tape it.
And we would offer that as well.
Yeah. Okay, too easy. When you're talking about the backpack size, we'll talk one thing about the size of this setup.
Yeah.
I had a great opportunity to mess with our other host who's not here, because he
no.
So he is very proud of he's a little bit of an HK fanboy at times. he likes the finer things, and there's nothing wrong with that.
If he would keep him around for more than 6 months, yeah.
But he had his MP5K model and was breaking it up with the can and its side folder and all of that.
Yeah.
And I pulled my Montgo setup out, and with a can, my setup was shorter than his.
I believe
with both of them folded.
Yeah, actually, we've taken like 4 trips since Dewey's been home, and your system has been accompanying us every time and keeping us safe. So
nice.
That's good to hear.
It is his favorite backpack gun.
Yeah, that's the one stressor for sure. No matter, like, out of all the chaos that goes on into ownership, it's just that I know there's going to be individuals that trust our gun as like a truck gun. Like there's one in one of our partners' trucks right now, just bouncing around underneath the seat, somewhat secured. But it's just a perfect gun. But you can pull that thing out anytime, use it, and it's just that confidence in it. So it's just that nerve-wracking, like, hey, I know we did this well. We have an amazing engineer. We have an amazing product. So it's good to hear that confirmation for it running.
Yep. So as we've talked about this and keep talking about like the main differences between the two, because we started to push, and I know that we're talking about weights and those things, and like the barrel system, like how the barrel locks in it has changed, along with the there we go. You say we lost both of you for a second.
Yeah. Man.
But so when the Mat 9 comes out in full production,
yeah,
obviously that's running an 8-inch barrel and some other things like that. Do you have some plans to run a longer?
So, I know one of those things you're not supposed to talk about is like politics and things, but obviously everybody knows the current environment going on with the whole brace situation. But we have looked into that. It is one of the things that's always on our minds constantly is caliber and then length, because some people have even requested to go back to the original, Montgo 9. But just with the new facade look and the new parts that we have here on the Mat 9. And then we've also looked into the 16-inch as well. And there's some cool ideas on how we're going to kind of keep that fake look of maybe a barrel shroud for suppressor look. And then that way it doesn't take away, because some of the visuals on it look a little unique when you go full 16-inch rail or 14-inch rail, so we are trying to cater to kind of everyone's senses in that, both visually and ergonomically.
So am I hearing something like the Mat 9 SD?
Maybe we did. I don't know. We gotta be careful. My partner's like looking at me right now from across the table, like, "Hey, yeah, no, yeah, it's
Whoever that guy is needs to be quiet.
yeah. He's like looking at me with the evil eye across the table. No, it's right now. I think with all the requests and everything like that, one of the absolute gamuts that we go through every day is, yeah, when's the 10 millimeter? Oh, I'll get to that in just a second.
Right behind the 5.7, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just constantly making sure that we timelines are important to us, because one of the things we always say internally is communication is key, right? It's the baseline for everything, and a lot of us being from the military background inside of our circle, and then family members that, and other partners that are very close to that, we take it really seriously. And so a lot of times, Davey as well, we, in our 9 short months of ownership, in 7 months, we had crushed and ahead of schedule completed that kind of really unique partnership that we have with another really big company in the industry that we can't really talk about, unfortunately, just yet. But we crushed that schedule piece, and then we had high hopes for February for the Mat 9, and unfortunately we've suffered kind of our first emotional hit as new owners. A little bit of a logistics issue, a little bit of kind of like some design changes here and there, but trying to keep on track constantly is actually our biggest. That's what we want internally, is to stay on top of what we say, and then when we say we're going to commit to it. But as far as caliber, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Billy.
I was going to say there really is something to be said for that, though, because as we just demonstrated in about 30 seconds, we swirled so hard from like how long the barrel can be to 7 different calibers.
Yeah.
So when you do that on a mass scale, it really is show kind of the importance of what you're saying. Like, hey, thanks for the idea. We'll take that under consideration.
Yeah.
But nobody wants that if the product doesn't work right. So
doesn't work right, or it's going to take, you're going to be 6 months on a waiting list. Like, nobody wants that. I mean, we were fulfilling orders just today in that shop JV's in now. But I think the oldest order was like maybe 14 days old. And that was embarrassing because on our system, that's a red line, and we just don't want that for people. And then, yes. So then we're like, well, we got to keep people interested. And there was, we got to cater to all the tastes. So realistically, our next steps would probably be caliber for this system. No change in length or anything like that just yet, because we do have some other really big ideas that ahead of us here shortly as well, and they're going to take a lot of our time. But 5.7 is one of them for sure. That's the internal favorite. 10 millimeter was another one. 300 blackout obviously is another go-to.
10 millimeter is best millimeter.
See, that's I was original 10 millimeter guy. That's all I preached. I was like, dude, 10 millimeter on a PCC would be awesome, like shooting marbles. But yeah, Davey's a big 5.7 guy. I went to SHOT Show, looked at a lot of 5.7 stuff, and the next thing you know, I'm like, dude, who wants 10 mil? Who wants 45? Who wants 300 blackout? And I'm a big 300 blackout guy. But yeah, 5.7 is probably our next one so far.
So I'll do a little bit of answer to Mike's question.
Yeah.
And with that, up until it gets to a 16-inch gun, it might not be in a lot of the standard IDPA. I don't know about IDPA, I guess. Our USP or USPSA, you have to have a 16-inch gun. They do not want you to run SBRs or pistols unless you're at a small outlaw
club like
outlaw
us,
club.
where
then
there
you can.
are no rules.
Yeah.
Rules are like guidelines. Didn't Jack Sparrow say that or something?
Yeah. Well, and like my problem with it is I don't want to, because I want to sit out and go, hey, I have to take my can off for that.
Yeah. That's another thing. I can't wait for competitive shooting to allow that. And I know that you have like the tactical games. I look forward to whenever they have one that is like based around that. Like your uniform is your tactical outfit, things of that nature.
Yep.
I never understood how 3-gun became a thing before 2-gun. You can only carry 2 guns,
Right.
3 guns the standard. It's like, I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, unless you're John Wick, then you stage.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you plan accordingly.
Well, and 2-gun came about because everybody got so mad at the shotgun for 3-gun.
Yeah.
Like my very first 3-gun match, a wise old shooter looked at me and said, "Well, son, a shotgun will never win you a match, but it will sure as shit lose one."
Everybody hating on the shotgun, the old shotty. That's where you got to make your time up.
Yeah. Oh no, it was loading it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just
nothing. Everybody hates loaders.
Yeah.
Or loading. Sorry.
Yeah. But no. So I see that in the comments here we have a bunch of people excited about 5.7.
Yeah.
And
yes.
One of the challenges with 5.7 that we're looking over is actually just the magazine situation. They're all pretty. So we may make one ourselves. We're kind of trying to figure that out, I guess.
Well, allegedly, the PSA mags will work in a Ruger.
Wow.
Let me look this up.
Yeah, and see, we're one of the things too that we're trying to do on the back end is we're trying to do a lot of R&D, a lot of testing for sure. Because again, whenever we have questions, just certain mags. Because one of the biggest things we got at SHOT Show, obviously another big change to answer your question from earlier, the difference in the two is that obviously the Mat 9 or the Gen 2 can go and marry to your AR style lowers, but you can shoot CZ Scorpion, Indo mags, Glock, Colt, and then we're still actually continuing to purchase other mags just to go down the rabbit hole in the gamut. HK, so for your friend that's got the HK, he can run that and then still, play in that realm if he wants. We actually gave the HK version to Chris, the all tan one from the one from SHOT Show, as a thanks for his support. He too is a gentleman of finer taste. So that was exciting, but yeah, that's one of the things that we do and we will always maintain is that kind of in-house R&D for sure.
Yep. And that was like, I legitimately was like extremely happy with what I had.
Yes.
And I went, all right, well, I'm just going to use this, I'll use this CZ Scorpion lower for my competition gun, then fine. And chucked the upper up in the mill so that and opened up all of the parts to make everything work together. And when I did that, like I no more than got all of the aluminum dust blown off of it. And all of a sudden it was, oh, hey, we have one now that'll do this and work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're great.
Just invoices for all your man hours on that lathe. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's fine. Just when I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude. I don't even want to know how many times my name's been MF under someone's breath this past 9 months, but that's been a majority of it. Or like I was telling you, like the huge rush of just re-excitement, I guess, for the Montco 9. And then all of a sudden we're like, hey, now we've got this bad bear and it does a lot more and it does all the other same cool stuff. And then just people were like, well, I just ordered my Montco 9. I'm like, I know, but you know where our website's at.
Yeah, well, and
one thing we always forget to talk about before we do, I do want to talk about our muzzle brake that came with the company. It's actually pretty cool if you shoot indoors or outdoors because it's totally adjustable. You just
Oh, that's nice.
open up all your ports and really fine tune it to get it like basically right where you want it, depending on the load, the round, the way, that all changes a lot. You could finite it to perfection. And then if you're indoors and you don't want to blow everyone's freaking eardrums out, close it. And
Get it up close, Davey. Yeah, and of course, it clicks, and it's like a something else you can adjust on your rifle, which is awesome. It makes it a little bit more you, and it's like guys and switches and buttons. The more you have, it's just like you just want to play with it. And it actually is a really cool product, very simplistic. We are looking to third quarter this year, I believe. Kind of revamp its design, and then even maybe incorporate this with a 3-lug system, so they're married together. Ooh. All in one. 3-lug has been kind of like another thing. I may have tipped the hat a little bit, but that is something that we're looking at. But blending the two. But I think it has 180 clicks total, open to close.
That is, in looking at that is a properly executed version of that, because I could hear the tactile clicks when Whiskey there was spinning it. So the first time I saw a rifle that had that, one of our friends has it, and I'm going to have to cut it off and then rethread it, because Savage did an adjustable muzzle brake with their own goofy proprietary threads on bolt action guns back in the day. It was a 9/16 by 21, and but they would lock open because they didn't have the detent notches to move everything. So after you shot it like 2 or 3 times, it would just carbon seize inside the sleeve.
Yeah, that's not it. Yeah.
And that would be a very interesting thing to look at.
And this is cool. It's only 3 pieces. 4, spring, the outer sleeve, the actual compensator itself. Yeah, and then you can see how robust the teeth are on that thing.
Yeah, that's. I know I had it up on the screen earlier when I was showing it on the website. You can see very well how that, like when you get down in here, you can see how that threading works, and then the detents where that goes around for the notches. And that is a brilliantly simple system.
Yeah.
And and a 3-port brake with a comp on top is just always solid.
Yeah, probably gonna order that tonight and get that coming from my PCC for this summer.
Please do. I believe Alex would have to check. It's been a pretty big a Rush Monday. I think it's actually, I'll give out the secret. I think it's coming up this weekend. Coming. We're gonna do a sale on regulators and sidewinders as well.
Outstanding. I'll wait.
Yeah, there you go.
Whip up a code for your guys'.
Yeah, I was about to say.
If it's willing to listen to us blabber for 43.
If anybody's willing to look at this haircut I paid for, we'd definitely throw a discount code out there for sure.
Well, that is awesome. And thank you so much as we start to get close to the end of an hour here of having you guys on and again, screaming at the ether and talking to all of our listeners that are watching live and have been interacting with us, which we do sincerely appreciate. It makes it a lot better because I don't have to think up all the questions then. But
absolutely. I mean, we're an open book. We're really, again, very thankful to be on. I could talk to this wall behind me if I wanted to, type thing. So please, just anything you guys got. Again, we're excited about it. Enthusiasm is just because of the reception. It's just.
So I know that you guys had kind of hinted earlier something about a lower and like maybe in the future, but one of the best things about having an upper is you can throw it on pretty much any lower you have, especially if that lower is equipped with VZ grips. And the unique features of AR grips made by VZ grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10. And G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered in mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme and color options are also available. 1911 grips, Beretta grips, revolver grips, all of these things are there, and standard slim palm swells. infinite customizability. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. This coupon code is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips, and that code is AR-15 pod. That was a seamless transition.
Seamless.
Nice.
There. Nicely done, sir. You
Layup.
have the radio.
Yeah, that's one of our guys, Justin, like we talked about earlier. He's downrange. That's one of the things that we missed. I'm glad you got the pleasure of meeting him at SHOT, and vice versa. We still talk about that, just on the spot go. And you've heard his vernacular and how he talks is seamless sometimes, and he's good at passing that torch from team member to team member. So,
yep. But it's definitely been great. Where can people, like, obviously, I had the website up of matadorarms.com. We'll have that in the show notes to have everybody comes through.
And Davey also, MCC Armory is another.
MMC Armory.
MMC Armory. I'm horrible at that. If I didn't know the name of my company on the shirt, I'd probably forget it.
MMC Armory has purchased all of our first, basically 3 months of production.
Yeah.
So they liked what they saw, and they said, ship us everything you can make.
Yep.
So you can go over there and pre-order them right now. We should be shipping the Mat 9, probably hope to be shipping them before April 1st.
Yeah, because I know that's a big thing, and we've talked about that a couple of times now throughout this podcast. And I know Alex is updating our Instagram and other channels. But one of the things, just to get it out there, because of the kind of delay in February that we talked about earlier, that we are hustling as hard as we can to get through now. We are actually receiving parts in kind of drips along this week and next, and that's why I'm in Texas now. I'm not back home, is so that we can speed up that assembly process and start hopefully getting product out in boxes starting next week, if not shortly after. So we're excited to get it out to you guys. We know everybody's been asking, hate for the delay, but we're doing everything we can to get us caught up for sure.
All right. Well, and I know that delays are it's getting to the point where you don't want to be the, throw the same excuse out that everyone has, because it's become like almost a industry trope at this time. Oh yeah, it was COVID.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna absorb it. We're behind, fellas, but it's worth the wait. I promise.
Hey, I've been in the firearms industry for a long time. A month behind is not that bad.
No, that's pretty okay. I actually had the guy at the Ruger booth at SHOT tell me it was COVID. He just straight up
Nah, we're
like,
not gonna use any excuses. We're just gonna like endure. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna get it to you guys, and we're gonna be very careful on our next release. For sure.
Hey, a new company like you guys, and you're backed up right this much, is fantastic, because
it is.
People are believing in your product, and that's something
Thank
special.
you. Yeah, we appreciate it. It's truly humbling, and it's a blessing every day for sure. We're very thankful.
Yep. So we have had this as, like other dealers or VA discounts or anything like that. If they want to do a dealer account, is that just something to get a hold of to be set up?
Just did it at matadorarms.com. We got a little dealer link on our page. You can click on it. It'll send you over to me.
Yep. And Davey's our president of sales, killer, and we can work all kinds of custom deals, things of that nature. You name it. We're definitely here to grow.
And not to plug anyone else, but don't you guys have a fairly decent discount with one of our sister shows, the We Like Shooting guys?
We do.
I sponsor them.
We and we will pass that on to you guys as well.
Yes, yeah, it will be received, and they're a great group, great crew. Definitely welcomed me. This is my first SHOT show, or was my first SHOT show, first time in this kind of industry on this side of the fence, anyway. And it's been great to meet gentlemen such as yourself, and then obviously that crew as well, and then everybody else in between. It's been great.
Oh yeah, well, we have thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show tonight, and as we go through and we look at that, it's the amount of craziness that is out there with everything going on. these are incredibly uncertain times. And do you want to keep you and your loved ones safe in these uncertain times? Are you looking for a full kit setup or just to upgrade what you have? Then you need to look at Predator Armor. Quality American-made armor and accessories, not some cheap junk from across the Pacific. From lightweight, flexible backpack armored, full plate carriers with plates, IFAKs that are stocked, and more. Predator Armor has it all. Use code AR-15-10 for 10% off.
Boom. Plug.
Seamless again. I like it. It's the team effort here.
Yeah, it's because you're setting them up and I'm knocking them down.
Oh, those are some of his smoothest transitions ever. We've died on those hills before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's been not good.
Do it again.
So is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention? Where can they find you on all of the internets and social medias?
They could follow us on Instagram, Matador Arms, matadorarms.com, the Facebook, the whole nine. Look for the logo, and that's pretty much us. So we're not too hard to find, I don't think.
We even dive a little deep sometimes in the Reddit realm, and that ether can look like that's like a black hole sometimes.
Man. Yeah,
but hey, you get some of the best advice from that area.
Yeah, it's a thankless job on Reddit. Those guys are freaking warriors.
It's
brutal.
It's the mom's basement of the internet.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some of that armor to go on that website sometimes. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, I don't frequent it near what other people do, but you can definitely find things on it. But there is one kind of unspoken thing that nobody really talks about when it comes to Reddit. Memes. Like, you see the memes on Reddit like 3 days before they make it to Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
4chan and all those.
I think it was on the other kind group. We like shooting. I think we got into nicknames or something, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna get ahead of the memes. They used to call me Sid, the sloth from Ice Age, and so I was like, just go ahead, just get it out there. I know Reddit's watching. Some dude's probably already screenshot and things like that. So now I just rock it. Like, all right, well, let's get this cat out of the bag. I'm down
for a nickname. On scale of nicknames, that's a pretty good one. So
yeah. If that's the worst of it, then so be it.
Yes, that is definitely something there. So, all right, do you guys have any other events or cool stuff coming up other than just be watching for email lists and when things start shipping?
We big sale. I'm coming up this weekend, Regulators and Sidewinders, and then we got the NRA show coming up in April. We got CanCon, with Recoil. We're super stoked about that. So we look to be there. Those are probably the next three big things coming up. As far as product development, we do have a couple of things up our sleeve, but we want to plane this out first before we really come back to that. But we are. It's taking every ounce of me not to spill the beans right now, but super stoked.
I'll just mute Nick next time he starts, trying to give product away before it's actually out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, just because I look at the design and see possibilities.
Yeah, we when we get up and really going here within this year, we do look to kind of do a kind of play on the whole redacted side of things and go, hey, look, this is what's in the works, and then let people kind of get interested or guess at what's coming. So it's
perfect. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Yep.
So at GunCon, we will also be there taking part of GunCon.
Nice.
And we'll maybe even be on a panel or two.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
tell you all about all the cool stuff we got coming out.
Yeah. For sure.
There we go. So we will be excited to see you, and I know a couple other people will be coming up there as well. I've heard people like some of you Georgianites that should come up as well.
Well, and Justin, our other guy, hopefully he'll be back for maybe CanCon, but that'll be another maybe. Yeah.
And if we're late, we'll blame him for being deployed.
Yeah.
Sweatshop. that freaking slacker.
Yeah, too busy saving the world. Sorry.
That's what they did. Why Garth couldn't make it to SHOT Show last year. Was
Yeah, saving the world, right, Garth?
Yeah.
Not me.
he's like, I can't go because Dooley's deployed. And it's a team.
Yep.
That's right. Hey, good for sticking up for each other, though.
Yeah, but no. So it's Matador Arms everywhere on the internets. Look for that red logo. And Garth, where can they find us?
Well, they can find us at AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at gmail.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook, AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram, I believe. They can find us on the network, firearmradio.net, and they can check out all the great podcasts on there. Not only us, I mean, I know we are the second best, probably sliding into the number one spot after tonight. But they can find us there. They can find all our affiliate links as well there. And iTunes, Spotify, and all your major podcasting social medias.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And there is one thing here, as I use the world's best hair and beard brush, and that is a patch from patriotpatchcompany.co. And this might even fix your haircut.
Yeah. I don't know. Gonna need a couple of them.
But patriotpatch.co. Jake and the guys over there do amazing work. They make some of the best morale patches. Join the Patch of the Month Club, and then look at their world's greatest mouse pads, which they call cleaning mats. But that's what they are. They're a giant mouse pad. It's amazing.
Yep, that right there.
Yeah, yeah. I have one under my keyboard right now.
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
All right. So, anything else? Parting words for anyone?
No, thank you guys for having us on the show. We look forward to coming back, and we'll bring beer next time. And,
Yeah.
Hey,
Be well prepared.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
That's right. Well, again, we thank you. We thank everybody viewing, everybody that's going to be listening, things of that nature. It is really humbling and truly appreciated. Sure.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. And you folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed.
Okay.
Do you want to support the show? Subscribe and interact on social media. AR-15 Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at gmail.com if you just want to drop us a line. Find us online at firearmsradio.net. Click through our sponsors and support the people who support our show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, Predator Armor, TacPack, and Patriot Patch Company.